Alyssa Milano is breaking her silence after news came out that Shannen Doherty and Holly Marie Combs are claiming that Alyssa had Shannen fired from Charmed. We also have Lisa Barlow from Real Houses of Salt Lake City. Her son is in the hospital, and we're going to get into all of that. So get ready. Let's dive in. Oh, hi, it's me, Zack Peter, pop culture junkie, reality TV insider, published author, and host of the No Filter with Zack Peter podcast. Here I'll bring you all the latest news on the Real Housewives, deep dives into celebrity legal scandals, and unfiltered convos with your favorite stars. I've got you covered. And yes, I always keep receipts. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for all the latest tea. Now, let's dive in. Hi guys, good morning. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday. It is hump day. It is almost Christmas. Is Hanukkah over? If Hanukkah's over, happy Hanukkah. And if you celebrate Christmas, then Merry Christmas. It is almost here. I still have a ton of holiday shopping that I still have to do. So I'm definitely going to make sure I'm getting that done this week. But I just wanted to say I love and appreciate you guys. The year is coming to an end. We're getting ready to close out. I mean, I'm still going to be doing my regular holiday shows. Oh my goodness, of course the pups wait until I'm right on air for them to start getting crazy, drinking all the water and making all the noise. Sullivan. Oh my goodness. All right, well, we're just gonna roll with it on a Wednesday morning. I will not be doing a show this upcoming Monday because it is Christmas Day, so I'm gonna be taking the 24th and the 25th off. And I will probably also be taking off January 1st, which is New Year's Day. So I'll be taking off Christmas Day and New Year's Day, but then we'll get back onto our regularly scheduled lives and new episodes. So, but those are the only 2 days that I will be taking off, probably because I'll be a little litty city or a little hungover the next day, and I want to get day drunk the next day. Okay, that said, we'll get to the tea in just a minute. We'll give people a few more minutes just to kind of settle back in. Hey, buddy, come, guys, chill. They've been like wanting. I don't know if anybody else has They've been drinking so much water lately. I'm like, can you save some water for the fish? Gee, willikers. It's gloomy in LA, but I went with my friend Andy to the premiere of Netflix's new film, Good Grief, which was written, directed, and starred by Dan Levy, who you guys may know of from Schitt's Creek, and he's done a bunch of commercials and movies and stuff. But I went to that movie last night, and it really kind of made me reflect on a lot of things. I know it's the end of the year, and I know it's like, oh my goodness, what's going on, buddy? Why are we choking? I'm trying to have a sentimental moment on the podcast, and you guys just decided you wanted to cause. This is life. This is just all right. We're just gonna dive into the tea. Okay. But I did go to the premiere of Good Grief, and it just made me really think about. And if you've seen the trailer for Good Grief, it's basically where Dan Levy he's married, and then he finds out his husband passes away suddenly in front of him, and then he's like, discovering his life and his marriage and things that he wasn't aware of in his marriage. And it's about the grieving process. And it made me kind of reflect on my grieving process, especially as, I've shared with you guys recently that my father was diagnosed with cancer last summer, myeloma in his blood plasma. So it's kind of it's not really curable. You kind of just manage it until, it's gone. Sorry, I'd awkwardly laugh when things get uncomfortable. And I'd recently, or in 2021, lost my grandmother, and it's been weighing heavily for me this past week or two, and I'm not entirely sure why, but it really has been weighing on me because I look at him and I look at his life and I look at, where he's at and kind of how he's just counting down the days, and also realize, and like he's counting down the days, but when my grandmother passed away, like it was so fast and it was so sudden and it was so unexpected. I was literally having a conversation with her about how, oh yeah, we have to get ready for Monique's birthday party, that we're, going to be putting together next weekend. And next thing you know, she didn't make it to Monique's birthday party. My father is 48. My grandmother was 69 when she passed away back in 2021. So it's just, interesting, you know? And lately, because I even have seen some of the comments lately, and some people are like, Zach's been performing lately, or he's being fake now, or whatever. And I'm just like, first of all, I've asked you guys repeatedly to just give me a little bit of grace. I don't need a lot, just a little bit. I'm trying my best every day right now, and if there are times where I come on the podcast and I'm a little overly animated, or I'm a little extra spunky, or I'm delivering my lines a little hard, it's really just because that's how I'm getting through it. I just have to compartmentalize and come on this show. I don't take any days off. I'm taking off Christmas and New Year's Day, and those are the first days I'm actually taking off. But like, I don't take days off, and I'm here and I give so much of myself and so much of my life, and I put it out on the internet and open myself up to the world. And I understand that that comes with good and bad, and I get judgment and I get praise, and I have people that love and support me, and I have people that fucking hate me, and that drives me just as much. But in watching last night's film, I do believe that there is an embargo, so I'm not allowed to talk much about the film itself, other than the fact that I did see it. It was really good though, and in it, I thought, because it's a movie about grief, I thought it was going to be really sad, and I thought that I was going to cry. And not that people didn't cry, but for me, I was just watching the movie, and I had this moment of like looking back at this year and looking back at the past several years, and just being really grateful for all of the good that's come into my life, but also being really grateful for all of the bad and really shitty stuff that has happened this year. And especially, in recent months or recent weeks or whatever, I just looked at it and I was like, it's really built me, because I feel like the past couple of weeks I've not felt like myself. And I feel like I've lost like my sense of identity. And I was like, I was getting to this point where I was like, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't feel ambitious right now. I don't feel like that fire and that, grit inside of me just feels like it's kind of disappeared, and I don't know where it went, and I don't know where I went, and I don't know how I ended up here where I don't recognize who I am anymore. And then last night I just had this moment of realization, and I was like, no, I do know who I am, and I know how strong I've been this year, and I know, and I'm grateful for all of it. Even the silly, messy internet feuds, and all of the personal shit and the heartbreaks, and the friendship endings, and the family drama, and the dad with cancer, and all that shit. Like, I'm grateful for all of it, because it's hardened me in different ways, but it's also softened me in other ways that has allowed me to be more vulnerable, and to, lately I've been doing I'm reading Jay Shetty's new book. I think it's called The 8 Rules of Love. And the whole first part of it is focused on like self-love, and focused on how when are in a period of feeling alone or being alone, it's really a period of solitude, you know, because I live a very independent life. I'm very grateful to have my family here in Los Angeles, but my life is very much independent, and I don't often lean on them for things. And, they even express concerns to me about like how I handle everything on my own. Um, but anyway, my point in all of this is just saying that I reached this point of remembering who I am, and being grateful for the person that I am, and all of the evolutions that it took for me to get to this place. And just how grateful I am to have this show, and to have this community, and to have you guys here with me. And, you know, we're riding through life together. And so if you've had a rough year, I had to do a cameo yesterday morning, I think, or the day before. And it was a daughter, and she had reached out, and she wanted me to do a pep talk cameo for her mom, because her mom's had a rough year and a half. And she's like, can you give her a pep talk? And I think that kind of helped me too. In giving her a pep talk, I think I gave myself a pep talk, which, by the way, I'm on Cameo, guys. If you want to book a cameo, do it right now for the holidays. But in giving her a pep talk, it kind of helped me be like, yeah, life can be really shitty sometimes, but that's what makes life great. That's what makes life beautiful. The fractures in our friendships, the fractures in our relationships, the fractures in, our long-term marriage and relationships, or our familial relationships. And we'll get into some of those relationships with some of the headlines that we'll discuss today, with Cameron Diaz and her marriage, and Kristen Cavallari and her relationship with her dad, and Alyssa Milano and Shannen Doherty. But it's like, all of those fractures and cracks and pieces that beat us down are really pieces that are the best parts of life. Like, that's like, I even look at some of the hardest things that have happened over the last several weeks, and I'm like, but those hard moments built me. Those hard moments made me feel alive. And I look back at them, and I'm not sad about that anymore. I'm not angry. I don't harbor any resentment towards anyone. Like, I feel very much empowered and ready for whatever life is going to throw my way. And I've kind of just released resistance, and I've released needing to control everything. I've released wanting to know the outcome, and I just let go. And that was something I did over the summer when I wasn't sure if I was going to move from my studio apartment to my now 2-bedroom apartment that I have here in, gorgeous building here in downtown LA. Um, and I just remember feeling like that lost sense of self in that moment and just being like, everything's really hard and I'm really confused and I don't know what's going to happen and I don't know what direction I'm going to take my life in. And then just sitting on the rooftop and just kind of letting go and releasing and saying, listen, I trust whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. And I invite whatever is next to come. And so much came. And that same day, I was approved for my new apartment, which I was really scared about because when you are self employed and you or so I don't have an Uber job. I don't wait tables. I like this is my sole income. I am my sole provider. And or I don't have a rich dad that I can go to. I have a dad that's, slowly deteriorating. Um, I was hesitant to be like, am I even going to be approved? Can I prove that I have a consistent enough income? Because some months are better than other months and whatever, right? Like, can I prove consistency and can I prove whatever? And I was able to do that. And I was approved for my new apartment. And then serendipitously, I ended up with another puppy, which has also been really challenging as they now approach 10 months. But if you're going through anything, this is my little pep talk to you because I feel like this is a stressful time. We have to see family. We're spending a lot of money. We feel this need to keep up with the Joneses and keep up appearances and make it seem like this time of year everybody's all holly and jolly. And that's just not the reality. And it's okay to struggle right now. And it's okay to embrace the struggle right now. And it's okay to enjoy the struggle right now. In Orange Theory, one thing that they always tell us is, when we're doing endurance training on the treadmill, one of my favorite coaches, Joey, one thing that she always says to us is um, sit with the discomfort. So when you're in that push and it feels uncomfortable, sit with that discomfort and know that it's temporary. So if anybody's in that discomfort right now, know that it's temporary and embrace that you're about to end up on the other side and embrace that it's going to be great wherever it lands. Even if it gets a little shittier or if it gets better or whatever the fuck is meant to happen is what's meant to happen. So just embrace it. We can literally die tomorrow. I watched my grandmother pass away, and that was really fucking hard. And it came out of nowhere. And now I'm watching my father slowly, live the last time he has left. And that's a really weird, twisted, fucked up reality that I'm also trying to deal with because I have my own mixed feelings and emotions and being like, well, I'm not like, how do I have feelings and emotions? How am I sad about this when that's not my life? And, I'm not one of my siblings that's living with him. They're all facing this every day. I'm not facing this every day. Like, how do I have, like, why am I sad? Why am I, feeling so strongly about this when it's not even affecting my every single day life? He's the one that has cancer. So, just take it one step at a time and enjoy every bit of it because it goes by so fast and you never know when life's going to throw you another big curveball. It's funny. I'm looking at my new notebook. I just got this notebook at Paper Source, and at the bottom of it, it's a get your shit together list and it has easy shit and tough shit and oh shit, I need to do this. And then at the bottom, and then there's a checkbox at the bottom that says no shit. So when you're done, you finish all the shit. But then at the bottom of it, it says shit happens. And that's true. Shit happens. So just embrace the shit as it comes, whether it's diarrhea or maybe right now you're a little constipated, but whatever it is, live your life. I love you. Okay, let's get into the tea because I've rambled on for 14 minutes now, and I'm pretty sure some people are going to be mad about it. Like, I didn't come to hear you give me a pep talk. Well, then go listen to some other loser. Okay, let's start with, do we want to start with Alyssa Milano? Since we've been on a Charmed kick lately with Shannen Doherty's new podcast. I cannot wait for like a new episode of Shannen Doherty's podcast. I feel like every single week we get like another wave of like tea. And again, I'm waiting for Shannen Doherty to have Rose McGowan on her podcast because I cannot wait for that. I want her to have Jenny Garth on her podcast. I want her to have Tori Spelling on her podcast. I mean, Jenny Garth and Rose McGowan are the two that I really want Shannen down. Could you imagine if Shannen had Alyssa Milano on her podcast? Oh, that would be drama. That would be insane. I mean, not drama, but that would be wild. That would be such a moment. But let's talk about Alyssa Milano. So she's breaking her silence. This actually piggies off of what I was just saying. So she's breaking her silence now that Holly Marie Combs and Shannen Doherty revealed that Alyssa Milano is the one that had um, Shannen Doherty fired from Charmed, which is the show that they starred on back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Shannen was on for 3 seasons, and then she was fired and replaced with Rose McGowan. So yesterday, Tuesday, was Alyssa Milano's 50th birthday, and she wrote a really long, sweet, poignant message, despite all of the headlines that are going on about how she got Shannen Doherty fired. And I'll just read you her message because it's actually a good message. Even though Alyssa Milano in recent years has kind of annoyed the fuck out of me, and I haven't always loved Alyssa. I loved her back on Charmed, but like lately, I just feel like she's a little annoying. But anyway, she writes, "Today is my birthday. However, instead of just saying my age, for now, I'm going to say that I've reached level 51. Yes. To unlock this level, I've discovered a few cheat codes that have helped me navigate the challenges and triumphs along the way. The first cheat code is resilience. I have faced my fair share of heartache, anxiety, and depression, but I have managed to overcome them with love. Love for myself, which keeps me evolving and searching. Love for others, which keeps me gentle and forgiving. And love for the world around me, which keeps me in awe at what has been created here. It is through this love that I have found the strength to keep pushing forward. Another cheat code that has been instrumental in reaching level 51 is gratitude. I've learned to appreciate the simple joys of life, like the beauty of birds soaring through the sky and the majesty of trees standing tall. I'm grateful for this symbiotic relationship between plants and humans, where my breath nourishes them and their existence provides me with what I need to survive. Gratitude has also allowed me to embrace the gift of curiosity, never ceasing to learn something new. Mostly, I'm grateful for the beating of my heart, which carries the blood of my ancestors and connects me to a rich lineage of profound triumph. Compassion and empathy are 2 more cheat codes that have helped me reach level 51 status. Although they can sometimes be uncomfortable emotions to experience, they have shaped me into a kind and humble person who strives to ease the suffering of humanity. The ability to want to understand and share the feelings of others has allowed me to forge deep connections and foster a sense of unity and community. However, the most significant factor in reaching level 51 is the people in my life who love me unconditionally. Their support, care, and acceptance have been the driving force behind my personal growth. Today, my heart overflows with gratitude for their presence. As Saint as Edna St. Vincent Millay once wrote, "O world, I cannot hold thee close enough." This quote perfectly encapsulates the overwhelming sense of love and appreciation I feel on this special day. So, as I celebrate my birthday at level 51, I do so with a sense of accomplishment and gratitude. I embrace the challenges and joys that lie ahead, knowing that I have the cheat codes of resilience, gratitude, compassion, empathy, and the love of those around me to guide me through the game of life. And then she posted a really cute selfie of herself. It's a makeup free selfie. So she doesn't directly address the Shannen Doherty or Charmed claims, but these women have all seemed to have grown past the drama. Yes, they revisited it on Shannon's podcast, Holly and Shannen, but I don't think it was with the intention of creating another feud. And that's why I would like to see Alyssa come on Shannon's podcast so that they can show everybody that, yes, even though we were 2 women in Hollywood that got pitted against each other and, we're built in this world that promotes scarcity mentality versus, you know, um, collaboration and support. Even though that's where we came from, that's no longer where we have to be. And I empathize with Alyssa. It's interesting. I feel like I had last year, I had a really big ending of a friendship that meant something to me. And when that relationship fell apart, one of the real reasons, and I've never actually said this because I was afraid to say this, but the biggest reasons that the friendship, sort of crumbled and I decided to start to disengage myself from that friendship was because I felt like we were in this world of scarcity or in this world of competition, right? Where we're told that we're supposed to collaborate as creators and we're supposed to want each other to win, but that wasn't what was happening. That's where we started. And then it felt like things were happening that were good for me that I was excited about. And I didn't feel comfortable sharing them because I felt like if I shared them, there was this like undertone of resentment. And again, that could have totally been me reading into things, and that could have totally been me over analyzing things, but I just felt this resentment that every time I gained something good in my life career wise, not personally, but in my career, every time a new benchmark or a new obstacle had been reached for me, I felt this like undertone of like, not wanting me to succeed. And again, that could be my total projection, right? And I just felt like, fuck, I've worked my whole fucking life. I came from nothing. I didn't come from money. I built myself up to get to the place that I'm at today. And I'm now going to be resented by somebody that I care about because why? Like, what did I fucking do to get to this place where I worked really hard for everything that I've accomplished? And I still feel like I'm only getting breadcrumbs with everything that I gain because there's so much more that I want to live a big life, a very big life, and I'm working very hard at achieving that big beautiful life. And so it does feel like sometimes I get these accomplishments and then they feel like breadcrumbs, and then there's a long time until I get the next breadcrumb. And being in this digital media category, you're not taken as seriously. We don't get taken as seriously as real reporters or real journalists. If you write for People, if you write for E-News, or you're a reporter for Access Hollywood, you're not treated the same way as if you're a podcaster or a YouTuber or whatever. So we have to fight really fucking hard every day just to be taken seriously. So that was really hard for me to feel that. And again, I'm repeating this again and again and again, that this could totally be my own projection. But that's why I wanted to work through this issue and wanted to kind of have this discussion and be like, hey, I'm feeling this energy and I'm feeling this sense of resentment. And I'm hoping that I'm reading too much into this and this isn't a real thing. But every time I tried to have that conversation, we were never able to have that. It would be immediately shut down, and I was told that I was making up issues that didn't exist. And it just comes to this place where I hate that, like, I want to that's why when I go on tour and when I do live shows, I don't want to just be the only I don't want it to just be no filter with Zack Peter. That's why I bring my friends on. This last show at the Bourbon Room, the Friendsgiving, I had the Brav Bros and I had Donna Bowling, and I always bring Jolene Lunzer to be the opener because she's so fucking funny, and I think stand up is the great way to open up a live show and set the tone. And Jolene's an incredible moderator and, an incredible host and talent. And with every other live show that I've done, there's always been an opportunity for collaboration and other creators to come into my shows and to share the stage with me. I know how fucking hard it is to make something of yourself. I've been podcasting for 8, next year will be 9 years. You don't think I got here without other people trying to tear me down or knock me down or compete with me? And that's kind of the same world that we're in. We're in this scarcity world where we have to compete with each other, because if your show is doing better than my show, then that means I suck and I'm failing. And listen, I've contributed to that too. I've had issues with other creators where I've maybe felt a sense of resentment, or I felt like, fuck, how can that person get those things and I can't even gain a little fucking respect? And I've gotten caught up in those moments, and those are moments of ego, and I have to check myself. But I have allowed my ego to blind me in the past, and that's just an active practice that I have to work on every day to make sure I don't get caught up in that cycle, because it's not healthy. And I think it's natural and it's normal and it's a human instinct to feel scarcity because we want to make sure that we're protecting ourselves. And so it's just something that we have to actively continue to work on. So when it comes to Alyssa Milano and Shannen Doherty, I think that those were two strong, confident women that were in a bubble that did not want women to thrive at that time. They wanted them to wear skimpy outfits and show side boob and deliver, really dense, silly dialogue that, didn't really showcase a full range of character for the characters that they were playing. And I think when one of them had a disagreement with the other one, or one of them wanted something more than the other one, where you're put in this pressure cooker where you're forced to compete. And listen, hold on, the audience needs to take a little bit of accountability for this as well, because there are tons of people that will get in your head and fuck with your head because they want to see the drama play out and they want to like feed into this. And that happens. The tabloids did that back in the early 2000s when there was beef between Shannen and Alyssa, because it drives headlines, it drives sensationalism, makes people salivate at the tea and the drama. We love the drama, right? But sometimes I think, it can mess with you and it can get in your head and it can, help you build and foster that further resentment and further scarcity, because we're told that life is a pyramid. And if you're not at the top, then you're at the bottom and you have to keep competing because there's only one spot at the top. And if you can't get that one spot at the top, if you're not winning, you're losing. If you're not number one, you're losing, you know? And I'm learning how to make my own peace with that and realize that like that's not it. I mean, look at even Rose McGowan joined the show and then the media tried to pit Shannen against Rose. And then it was this thing of Shannen Doherty versus Rose McGowan because Shannen got fired and Rose came in to replace her. And I think Shannen has even said like there were moments where she got caught up in feeling that need to compete with Rose, or maybe it was vice versa. But I feel like they were pitted against each other and not really allowed to embrace each other. And that's fair, right? Because one gets fired and one's your replacement. And that's really hard, whether it's a job or a relationship. When you see somebody else fill in the role that you had, it's natural to question yourself and it's natural to feel competitive because you lost something and they gained something. But sometimes it's not about gaining or losing, but it's just about experiencing. I experienced that and now I get to experience this new thing. And you get to experience that. And that was great when it was a part of my life and you get to experience it and move forward with that. So I'm kind of glad that Alyssa didn't release some like big bold statement back. I don't think Shannen did this with the intention of starting a feud again. Kind of have faith that Shannen and Alyssa will do a podcast episode together because I would love to see that. I do want more tea on all of their drama, but we'll see. We will see. We will see. But while we're, in this moment of gratitude and in this moment of fighting scarcity, part of that is giving. And we want to make sure that we give to the people that we love. And let's be clear, no matter how well you know someone, gift giving is never easy. But this year, I'm getting those on my list, the gift that they actually want with Quince. Quince creates timeless essentials that never go out of style, and you'll have them in your closet forever. I got this new cashmere sweater. It's really cute. It's spicy mustard. It came in yesterday. I can't wait to wear it for the holidays. I got a few good items. I wore one last night to the premiere of Good Grief for Netflix. It was like this blue polo that was super cute. Like I said, I've been eyeing this black leather jacket because I just feel like a black leather jacket is just like a timeless classic. But the best part is all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. And that's why I'm giving my nearest and dearest the gift of Quince cashmere this year. Make gift giving better this year with Quince. Go to quince.com/nofilter for free shipping and 365-day returns on your order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/nofilter and get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/nofilter. While we're all, being mindful, I want to tell you about one of my latest wellness hacks, and that's Dose for Your Liver. It's a yummy beverage, and it's a great upgrade to your daily health routine. Why wait for the new year to take actionable steps right now to get yourself on track? You can start taking baby steps now so that come the new year, it doesn't feel overwhelming and it doesn't feel like, maybe I'm biting off more than I can chew. No, just start now. Little things, teeny tiny things, right? Unlike any other wellness shot, Dose does not contain any standard juices or powders. It's formulated with organic herbs. It's vegan, gluten and dairy free, and has zero sugar. Dose for Your Liver is formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support your liver. I'm talking potent turmeric, milk thistle, dandelion, ginger. So, if you guys want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health, Dose is offering No Filter listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. Go to dosedaily.co/nofilter and use code no filter. That's dosedaily.co/no filter and use code no filter. Okay, what other news, tea, and tidbits have we gotten? Summer House is returning soon. It's likely to return in February. We got a bit of a teaser that came out yesterday, basically just showing some more drunken debauchery. It looks like we may have some fresh faces in the mix. We see a bit of Craig. So we know that Craig's going to be around. He seems to be doing more crossovers with Paige since they're still together. I saw that they just did like a cute photo shoot for Elite Daily. So Summer House is coming back, I think February. We know Vanderpump returns on January 30th. Summer House usually returns in February, so I'm assuming it'll air with Vanderpump Rules. We had a new episode of Salt Lake City, still in Bermuda. I'll recap it tonight on the YouTube channel. So if you guys want to join that recap, you can join it tonight. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Meredith and Whitney were like facing off in some new tweets, which was really interesting. I haven't seen the episode yet. I'm going to watch it after this. So forgive me for not knowing all of the details. But it was interesting because Meredith tweeted out, for someone who cares so much about the exploitation of their vagina, where were you when my son's sexuality was exploited by someone in our circle? Oh, I remember questioning my support for his community a couple of years later. Then we have Whitney, and Whitney claps back at Meredith, and she says, "Don't make the situation regarding me and Heather about yourself. You know I've always been there to support both you and Brooks." And then Meredith said, "Go take a bath." Yikes. I don't understand why they're fighting. Or the bath thing or the vagina thing. Like, it's just can't we all get along? But I'm looking forward to seeing this new episode from Bermuda. We have the finale that's going to be airing January 2nd. Do we have a new episode that's coming? Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Let's see if we have a new episode that's airing next week. It might be on a break or on a pause. Yup, it looks like so. Swimming with the Fishes, which was episode 15, that aired yesterday. So we won't have a new episode of Salt Lake next week, which is the week of Christmas. So it looks like they're taking a bit of a pause, but we will be getting the finale, which is called Mysteries Revealed, ? Which will air on January 2nd. Ooh, this looks good. On the final day in Bermuda, Heather receives a devastating phone call. Meredith remains in hot water for her role in the rumors about Angie, and a bombshell about Heather's black eye is revealed. Ooh, and then I saw a clip and a preview of it, and Heather's like, "We have receipts and the timeline and everything, and what you did was crazy." So it looks like the finale will be explosive, to say the least. Okay, what else do we have? So we have Summer House, we have Salt Lake City. There was a new clip of from Southern Charm. I guess a preview for the episode that airs this week, where Olivia calls out Taylor while they're in Jamaica, right? So in the clip, though, Taylor talks about her love for her brother and somehow relates that to Olivia's love for her brother. She's like, I trust my brother, and I call my brother because I love him. Like you love your brother. And I was like, oof. And then you see Vanita, and Vanita's like, oh my goodness. And everyone's faces are just like, wow, did she really just say that? Because we know Olivia just lost her brother. Her brother just suddenly passed away very recently. So for her to bring up her dead brother, like that's just not where you want to go. And so everyone's faces at the table just look like baffled. And then you have Olivia, and she says, that Taylor's crossed a line that she can't come back from. And she's like, before I would have forgiven her and meant like, oh, she didn't mean it like that. But like at this point, like, I just think there is no coming back for this for Taylor. And Olivia told Taylor that she hates her, and she says that she's a liar and she's been lying to her. And Taylor's like, it was one time. I lied to you one time. And then Olivia's like, what are you talking about one time? What is this mess you're trying to start here? No, thank you, ma'am. And Taylor's like, well, the word hate is so strong. You said that you hate me. You hate me. And Olivia's like, yeah, that's why I said it. Boom, bitch. I thought Southern Charm was gonna start to like derail, but it's actually stayed pretty consistently cray cray. So stay tuned for that. The big blow up between Olivia and Taylor. We have Kristen Cavallari. She's opening up on her podcast. She just had a therapist on and they talk about narcissists. She calls her dad a narcissist and she says that she cut her dad out of her life 2 years ago because of something that he did to her children. And Kristen's like, listen, I grew up with him and I remember his abusive behavior growing up and he would constantly like put me down. And then there were moments where he would build me up, but he would build me up only to build himself up. And I don't know. I think the term narcissist gets thrown around a little too loosely these days. Because of the fact that it's just a buzzword. And so everyone's like, I dated a narcissist. My ex was a narcissist. This person is a total narcissist. No, here's the thing. People, yes, can have narcissistic tendencies. They can behave, in ways that may mirror a narcissist, but I don't think there are that many true narcissists walking around. I mean, we do have media and we have unrealistic beauty standards and social media and filters and all of that stuff that make us vain. And I think more than people are narcissists, I think people are selfish. And I think the selfishness comes from fear. People are selfish and they only choose what makes them feel good and what they want and what serves them because I think they're afraid that if they don't serve themselves, other people won't serve them. I always have a very different take on that. Listen, I'm not perfect. I have my messy moments. I've definitely contributed to things. I'm pretty sure there are people that would consider me a narcissist at times. Um, I don't think that I'm a narcissist. I remember I had a therapist when I was in treatment for my eating disorder. And I was like in treatment. And then I followed it up with like a year of therapy. And I remember talking to my therapist afterwards because I did a year of therapy with her. And then she ended up becoming a friend of mine years later. And I just remember asking her one time, like, you're kind of the professional. Like, do you think I'm a narcissist? And she's like, no, you're definitely not a narcissist. She's like, you even asking that question proves that you're not a narcissist. She's like, that term gets used way too loosely. I agree. I even had Dr. V on my podcast at one point, and she kind of agreed that like we throw that term around so loosely without really understanding like what a narcissist is. I think people are selfish. I think people get caught up in their own ego. I think people want to protect themselves. I think people want to protect their not assets, but like protect what they have because of that scarcity mentality that I was talking about earlier. And it's like, I need to protect me and I need to protect all these things that I have because these are all mine. When it's like, if we stop trying to protect ourselves so much, one, we realize that like life will beat us down, but it's not to the point where it's going to kill us. Like that's kind of the reality. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. The more we stop running from life, the more we can embrace it. And the more we stop trying to hog all of the resources for ourselves, the more that we can continue to share those resources with others. Like remember in 2020 when everyone went and bought out all the fucking toilet paper? Why? Because we thought that we were gonna run out of toilet paper and, like, so we needed to go and flood the markets and take all of the resources that we had them all for ourselves because, Armageddon, like, that was so stupid. And then we realized afterwards, like, what fucking morons we all were for going and buying all the fucking toilet paper. But it's like, what is this need? And it's again that scarcity mentality, this need that I need to make sure I have all the resources that I hold for me. When it's like, yes, there are going to be selfish people in the world, but if we give a little, it goes a long way. Give a little, show up for people. I'm somebody that shows up for people probably too much. And I will break my back to show up for people. And I don't feel guilty about that. Do I get hurt sometimes? Have I gotten burned sometimes? Yes. When I love hard. I put my whole heart on the fucking table and I will continue to give because too many people are selfish and we need more people that are willing to give. So if I have to break myself a little to give a little extra, I'm okay doing that. Because guess what? I'm still going to wake up tomorrow and be fine. Even if I, burn out my battery will recharge. I will recharge myself and I will continue to get up and I will continue to deliver and give to people, not out of necessity and not out of expectation, but just out of service. Because I think if we all can give a little more, then everything just, we soften the edges and we can all just be better people collectively. But that starts with small actions, daily actions. Like they say, like when it comes to like New Year's resolutions, it's most people can't follow through with New Year's resolutions because they do these big grand gestures at the end of the year. But if you start making, baby steps and taking those little steps now, eventually you will build up to that. It's like going to the gym. You're not going to start lifting a 50-pound weight. You have to start with 5 pounds, and then you have to move up to 10, and then 12, and then 15, and then 20, and then 25. And you build little by little, give a little. Um, I don't know Kristen Cavallari's dad. I don't know if he really is a narcissist. She doesn't give many details about her relationship with him or what he did to her kids that made her cut him out. I'm not saying you need to keep toxic people in your life. I'm not saying that if, relationships in your life are too challenging that sometimes there isn't a need to walk away. They always say that if something's meant for you or someone's meant to stay in your life, you have to let them go and you have to walk away from them. And if they come back, then it was always meant to be. I believe that as well. And, sometimes walking away really kind of lets people reflect and they really have to analyze, like, do I want to keep you in my life? Like, you walked away from me. Is that going to make me resentful or is that going to make me want to change some of my behavior so that I can gain you back in my life and maybe do some inner reflection and do the work? I believe people can grow as long as they're willing to. I believe people can change as long as they put in active effort to change. And then we have Cameron Diaz, and she talks about marriage. And this one's kind of funny. She was on the Lipstick on the Rim podcast, and she says that married couples should have separate rooms, that she thinks that that's healthy. You have separate rooms. She encourages you to have separate homes. She said that she certainly doesn't feel this way now, but these are things that she's said in the past. She said that like marriage is the biggest thing that she's ever done in her 40s and that it's really changed her, and her husband has really changed her. And he's made her not want to like have everything completely separate because of how amazing she claims that he's been to her, which I think is a good trait. Growth, evolution. She got married in her 40s. She said that she never thought she was going to get married. She never thought that these were things that she wanted in life, and now here she is doing it. So good for Cameron Diaz. I think healthy separation can be good and separation can be healthy. So yeah. So all right. Well, oh, guess so. Okay, I'm now gonna dip into the live chat and respond to some comments. Um, yeah, I'll take like 5 minutes to respond to some comments. Ooh, here we go. This one's spicy. Guess so says you're way off. You need to watch the episode. Ooh, which about Southern Charm or about what? That was love's. That was love, Zach. But many of us really do love him too, and we have been through loss and grief. I actually like Kristen, but she calls everyone a narcissist. Yeah, and I don't think that that's healthy. Ooh, Kat says, I completely disagree with the separate bedroom thing and house thing, but it's all good and good for her. I guess I'd never do it. She doesn't actively do it, though. She doesn't actively do it. She just says that she's in support of that. And I think healthy separation is good. I think it is a little weird. I mean, maybe separate bedrooms that connect with the bath. I don't know. I've heard. Listen. I've never been in a marriage. I've never been in like a long-term serious relationship where I lived with someone. But I don't know. I guess only married people can really weigh in on things. Kim says, I lost my husband a year ago on November 26th. I've never in my life felt so out of sorts after 22 years of marriage. You made me sit back and think of all the things and blessings I do have. Thank you. Oh, Kim. Oh. That makes me a little choked up. I appreciate. Listen, I woke up this morning and I was like, I don't know why. I just need to go on the podcast and I don't know what I'm going to say, but I just feel like there are words inside of me that need to come out today, and whoever is going to resonate with them, hopefully resonates with them, and I, appreciate that. Stacy says this is such a great message and it really makes me put things into perspective. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, Rummy, accidentally woke up and now grateful to catch your live. Yay! Welcome to the live, honey. Um, I'm just realizing you're listening to it as it goes where I'm in the beginning because I'm fashionably late. Oh, are you guys fighting in the live chat? Don't fight in the live chat. It's easy to feel burnt out after dealing with a toxic former colleague or partner. Don't let the worst examples of people drag you down. Yeah, and I think um, the more we not allow those things to drag us down and be like, listen, this person, maybe they're a shitty person, but maybe they're acting from past trauma. Maybe they're acting from a place of ego. Maybe they're just not at the level of consciousness. Maybe they haven't done enough of the inner self work to be able to um, to be able to be in a better headspace or operate from a higher vibration or whatever that may be. And sometimes you're just like, listen, you may be a little cuckoo crazy, but I'm gonna let you be cuckoo crazy over there. I can love you from afar, but I'm just gonna give you love, even though you can't show me love, and even though you can't continue to give to me, I will give to you from afar. Um, Folks fear a truth teller. You'll find the ones to trust. Jolene is an amazing host and hilarious comedian. Yes, she is. We love it. It is affecting your life. You are actively losing a loved one. Give yourself some grace. Your feelings are your feelings and they are valid. Thank you, Nessa. I appreciate that. It's hard. It's hard because I don't know. I just have a lot of guilt for having feelings about my own father having cancer. And it's just weird. And it's been fucking with my head lately. But I appreciate that. Take it from a person who knows 3 of my family members out of 4 have passed away in my arms, and now whose arms other than God do I pass away in? Ah, Linda, you have your own arms, my love. You have a big heart, and your heart is what's going to carry you. It's okay to struggle right now. It's been struggling or Linda's been struggling for over a year behind whatever is going on with my body. I'm so praying for you and your family. Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. Guys, I appreciate all the really sweet sweet messages. Sweet messages. Oh, trying to read all the comments in the live chat. Alyssa Milano LaBelle says Alyssa Milano is one child actor who in other ways is as fucked up as Amanda Bynes and Brittany and the other child actors, including Shannen and Holly. Yeah. Listen, but I think Shannen and Holly and Alyssa have all like done some work on themselves and they seem to be in a better place. So I'm glad. I'm glad that they again, I want them to actually work things out and like get to a good place. Dun, 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 dun. Donna, Daily Dose of Donna. Hi, love. I was just chatting about you in the live show. I needed to hear your pep talk today, Zach. Thank you. Thank you, Christina. I just popped in. I missed the beginning, but I was just in time for Zach's gratitude message. Oh, well, before the gratitude message, there's a whole other message that I opened up with. So I don't know. Listen, this is going to be like this therapy with Zach. I don't know what this is. It's the message that I felt I needed to share today. I didn't have a script. I didn't know what I was going to say. I had bullet points of like the headlines that I wanted to cover, but certainly not. Certainly not. It was not a planned message. I lost my mom to cancer last year, and my little sister's been diagnosed with cancer. Also, your message resonated today. The holidays can be rough for some things. Zach. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. I'm glad that so many people are able to resonate with it. I think the people that were unhappy with the message or were confused by what I was saying today, they're just not ready to hear. Listen, we only hear things when we're ready to hear them and when we're in the place where we're um, ready to heal from them. People try to drag you down. Your beauty makes their ugly show. Well, all I can do is be me. You made me realize how much I miss my mom, which you never recover from, but it does become your new normal. And at some point, you learn to deal with living with the loss. That's a really good point, Danielle. I'm sorry that you're experiencing that. But one thing that I've always tried to explain that sometimes I feel like is frustrating, and probably also one of the other reasons I'm feeling so conflicted about my father is, the older I became, the less a part of my life my father really became as well. So we don't have the closest relationship, but like we have a fine relationship. Like I don't see him often, I don't talk to him often. I have lately. I think I kind of expected him to make more of an effort after his cancer diagnosis because it's like, oh, well, when you're facing your mortality, that's when you want to wrong your rights or whatever. And when that didn't happen, that also really affected me. But as it relates to my grandmother, I always kind of considered that to be my father. My grandmother was my father. She knew that her son just was really young when he had me and maybe just wasn't able to, you know, uh, rise to the occasion in whatever ways. And I just feel like she wanted to make sure that she provided that for me and was a parent to me in the best way that she could be, considering she wasn't my actual parent, but she became my parent. She was my father. I used to say that, You know, when my grandmother died, it felt like I had buried my father, and that was really hard. And then now I'm in a place where we may soon have to bury my father, and that's a really weird, twisted sort of reality that I'm dealing with as well. Life's hard, be kind, and love yourself. That's right, here temporarily. There you go. And what a message. Your username is here temporarily, and it's true. We are all here temporarily. FF Sweetie says, I've been going through a lot of the same as you this past year and immediately be touched by your words, knowing that I am not the only person feeling this way. Thank you. Listen, we're all going through something. We are all going through something. Love you, Zach. Prayers for everyone. When I was in my prime as a cocktail waitress in Vegas from 94 to 2008, I had a 5-bedroom house and lost my uncle, grandmother, and mother all in 1 year altogether. Yikes. I'm so sorry. Listen, it's okay to talk about grief, guys. That's another thing that I think. That's another thing that I think we don't give ourselves enough grace for, is that, like, it's okay to talk about grief. Grief is real. The more we avoid it, the more it makes it awkward and uncomfortable to talk about, but it shouldn't be uncomfortable and grateful to talk about. One of my good friends that was a neighbor that, funny, her apartment number used to be 1111, and she was like, that I always felt lucky. And we met the day she moved in. And she gave me a piece of furniture that I still have in my apartment to this day. But that said, we related because she lost her mother and I lost my grandmother, and we related over that grief. And our conversations about grief have been so, like, transformative and helpful for me. LaBelle says, I lost my brother Christmas Eve 2012, and another sibling is having surgery on Friday. We all have trauma in our muscles, and that permanently changes us at a cellular level. Please pray for my sister. We will absolutely pray for your sister, LaBelle. And that's true. You know, that does okay, this is one thing that I learned. I think it was in the trailer, actually, for Good Grief, where Dan Levy's character talks about love and how love in your brain stores love in your brain. I'm hoping I'm paraphrasing this correctly, but he talks about how love in your brain is like stored muscle memory. And so, you know, that's kind of like what grief and trauma become in our muscles. Like, your muscles have memory, and I think we store things and we hold on to things, and sometimes we just have to let go and release those things, but that takes time. Okay, I think that's all I have for you guys today, but hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. I will talk to you again on Thursday. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful afternoon. Get some coffee, have a little wine tonight, make yourself a good dinner, call a friend, go to a coffee with a friend, get some good human connection. I've been craving a lot of human connection. Even yesterday, I wasn't planning on going to the premiere of Good Grief for Netflix, but my friend Andy, I just texted him and I was like, hey, do you want to grab a glass of wine tonight and just, like, hang? Like, I just needed a friend and some wine and just, like, some human connection. Um, and he was like, he's like, I might be around tonight. He's like, but do you want to come with me to this premiere? I was going to bring another friend who's now not going. And so, do you want to come instead? And I was kind of like, I mean, sure. I wanted to get out of the house. I didn't want to be home alone. And so, sure, let's go. And we had a really good time. We didn't have any wine. But we had some martinis after the premiere, which was good. We had a lot of popcorn, which I love. But all right, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. If you want to keep up with me, you can always keep up with me at Just Plain Zach. If you want to keep up with the podcast, you can keep up with the podcast at No Filter with Zach on Instagram, and catch new episodes of No Filter with Zach Peter every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Bonus episodes drop on Fridays for No Filter Plus members. I also have member bonuses that drop on Sundays. Me and Donna Bowling from Daily Dose of Donna do recaps of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We're rewatching season 1. So you can catch those recaps on Sundays. There is no new episode of The Ringer reality TV podcast this week or next week. So there will be no new Southern Charm or Real Housewives of Miami recap this week or next week. And then the 25th and January 1st, Christmas Day and New Year's Day, I will not be taping the show. So I'm taking those days off, but I will be around every other day those weeks. So we will still get to spend time together. Just those 2 Mondays, next Monday and the upcoming Monday, are the 2 that I will not be doing the show. But aside from that, I'm here. I love you. I appreciate you. And I will talk to you later. Ciao for now. Bye.